What's up? I'm Derek.
I'm Evan.
We're in the band State Champs, and you're watching Common Revolt.
Okay.
Speed.
Now we're speeding.
Speeding.
Cool.
What's up? I'm Derek.
I'm Evan.
We're in the band State Champs. Welcome. State Champs started as just a fun little side thing. Myself and Tyler, the guitar player, are the only two original members. We were in like adjacent local metalcore and hardcore bands when I was like 12. Believe it or not, I was screaming in a metalcore band, and he played bass in his brother's metal band. We got tired of it, and we said, no, I'd like to actually sing. Let's hang out in your basement and cover Cartel songs and Fall Out Boy songs. And then State Champs blossomed into what it is. And there was no set out to make whether EPs or albums or any kind. We just wrote songs and then put them together, and then eventually it became Apparently I'm Nothing, our first demo, mega EP, if you will.
This is critical.
Critical was the song that got us signed to Pure Noise Records. We tried to get signed by Pure Noise Records for so long. We would send them every other song that we made, and he was like, yeah, this is all right, but like, I'm good. And then finally we wrote Critical, and he was like, let's get on the phone right now. And like, we cut a deal like within the next week after that. So thank God we wrote that song.
I joined in August of 2012. And I believe we released it in September. Fun fact about that is I actually did not play drums on Overslept. That was this guy. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I joined after it was already done. And when we had to re-record Critical and Remedy for Finer Things, I pretty much kept it the same. Yep. So this guy is an incredible drummer as well.
Yeah. I'm not a drummer, but I can play drums. That's what I say. Yep, first album, The Finer Things, came out, and our first big tour we did on that cycle was with Motion City Soundtrack and Bayside. We were just so excited. I turned 21 on that tour. We were so young and just thriving, ready to be like so happy to be on tour. Bayside singer had to leave the tour with 2 weeks left, and I actually had to sing for Bayside, so I was over the hill for that as well, because they were one of my favorite bands. Yeah. But then, we needed a bass player. So enter Ryan Scott Graham, who was just a friend of Tyler's that he recommended. Let's try him out as a bass player. We joke about the fact that he's still just trying out. We never actually let him in the band, so it's been about 10 years now of him just trying out. But he's a good fit for sure.
I will also say, yeah, so we met him on that tour when we stayed at his ex-girlfriend's grandmother's house. And I remember him saying to Tyler, hey, if you ever need anyone, let me know. And when we were going through who to kind of play bass, Tyler's like, yeah, there's this guy in Michigan that wants to play. And then Ryan drove out for his birthday to try out. Drove from Michigan to Albany to try out. And he fit in immediately. I mean, everyone that knows Ryan loves him.
What? Come here.
But he's an unbelievable bassist, guitarist, but also a singer. So I think adding Ryan was a huge reason this band also grew, because he's a great personality but also a very talented musician.
He's a little social butterfly, isn't he?
I love Ryan.
Yeah, that tour with We Are the In Crowd was, I think, like a blossoming tour for us. But I think we still meet fans that are like, that was the first time I ever saw you guys, and have been with us ever since. So I think given that was the time that we locked in with our, existing lineup at that point, and it really became like a fully functioning member-filled band. And that's when we started to lock in our live show as well. So it was just a jumping off launch pad for our career. We could feel it really starting to heat up in Warped Tour 2014. We were just doing it in a van on the smallest stage, but we were one of the biggest bands on that stage. Well, us, excuse me, it was also us, Neck Deep, and Beartooth, all on the Kevin Says stage that year. So, jump to now. Yeah, I think it all worked out for all of us, so that's great. But they didn't have enough security. Kevin Lyman was getting pissed at us for inciting riots on the Kevin Says stage because there were too many crowd surfers. But yeah, that was just like, we were like, oh shit, it's happening.
Yeah. And it was cool because we were bumped up to the main stages quite a bit on that, which was really fun. It was a lot of work being in a van and having to, not knowing what stage you're really playing on every day, but it was probably the most productive tour, other than maybe 5 Seconds of Summer and All Time Low. I feel like right? Warped Tour probably was the trajectory. Yeah.
Yeah, If I'm Lucky is on the acoustic things, and it's like our most well-known acoustic song. And the notorious viral thing is that it's the first song I ever wrote when I was 15, and I used to say it on stage, so my fans give me so much shit for it all the time still. But some people hate it, some people love it. Sometimes we play it, sometimes we don't.
Tonight's the night.
12,500 people.
Only a few.
Heard Beyonce sold this same venue out 5 nights in a row. Can't wait to rock out with my socks out.
Jumping into a tour, like an arena tour for the first time, when we were so not ready for it. We get dragged onto a tour, sold out arena tour in Australia with 5 Seconds of Summer. We weren't even using like backing tracks, laptops, or in-ear monitors yet, so we had no. We were just not ready for that. We didn't even have any like. I didn't have a microphone. I showed up. We were like, "Will you guys help us? We don't have anything."
Holy moly! I don't know what's gonna happen yet. Every seat in this place is gonna be filled in about 2 hours.
They were really accommodating, and it was awesome. Luckily, the band was really nice to us. We became are still good friends to this day. But that was a lesson to be learned, I would say.
It was scary going from clubs to an arena tour. Also really humbling too. We would play an arena show with 5 Seconds of Summer, and then we would play a 200-person club show the next day. So it's kind of cool to have both dynamics of, club shows are really, really fun because you're up close and personal and the energy's crazy, and then you go to an arena where nobody knows who you are. And it was just, it was so much, we won them over, and it was so much fun, and everybody on that tour, like Derek said, treated us so well.
Sing on one of their songs before?
Yeah, at one point, if you go back to like an old like B-side track of theirs, I forget what it's called. Oh, it's called Lost in Reality. You'll hear myself, Tyler, and Ryan on the gang vocals of that song. Big flex. When our album was in Target for the first time, that was Around the World and Back. I was stoked, but one could say my mom was 10 times more stoked. She bought about 30 copies, so it was an exciting time. It's cool to like be able to still go into Target or any outlet that sells records, CDs, see our stuff on the walls. It's that was humbling for sure. That was when like, oh, it's legit now.
And I definitely feel like it was cooler for our families. It was like definitely a boost of like, oh yeah, they're doing something with this. This is legitimate. So
yeah, it was a turning point of like still doing the music thing. Oh, you're really doing the music thing.
Yeah. Oh, like you're in Target. This is real. Yeah.
You're in the newspaper.
Exactly.
I saw you in the newspaper. It must be a real thing. We owe so much to a song like Secrets. It's forever going to be one of our biggest songs, and we'll always play it either, first or last in the set list, to the point because it's such a fan favorite and a live favorite. And All You Are Is History is another one of the best crowd energetic moments of the set always. It's the loudest the crowd gets. So those are staples that will never leave the set list. You don't have to worry. They will never be taken off.
Yeah.
It was great to team up with a band like Neck Deep, who are like, from the other side of the world, but we're blossoming at the same time. So we did a world tour with them starting in Australia, we did Japan, we did the UK, Europe, and then the US and all of Warped Tour together. So we've spent plenty of time together, became such brothers, and we kind of got to help each other through the growth of our careers, which was nice. So we got through stuff together, the ups and downs, ins and outs, and watched how different both of our careers are, even though we are like on similar paths and similar sounding, if you will, but we both have our cool own dynamics that make each band, I think,
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like touring with a band like that has been super helpful, and that tour, I mean, it was super successful, not just in the fact that we're friends, but even just selling out those venues. I mean, I think in the States, every show was sold out except for the one Canadian, so like it was a super helpful.
You don't have to say that. They were all sold out.
It was all sold out. Cut that. 100% sold out in America. No, but like every show did super well, and it was fun to kind of grow with them in that, and honestly, I would love to do it again. We're actually going on tour with them again, and
finally in Australia.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Build on that, do some more.
So I'd love to do another world tour with them. That'd be great.
If I'm being honest, I'm not a huge Black Parade album fan. I'm a My Chem fan for sure, but I had never heard that song that we covered. I couldn't tell you the name of the song.
I feel bad saying this too. Yeah, I was at 3 Cheers. That was my.
What was it called? What was it called?
Lives?
The Sharpest
Yeah.
Lives. I'm so sorry. It's a big My Chem fan.
The song is badass, and I love the song, and covering it was so much fun. But I agree with Derek.
I was reading the lyrics.
But the song is awesome, and we love My Chem. We love you, My Chem. But that was really fun to cover, especially like I didn't know that song as well as some of the others on the record, but it was really fun to to do that.
Cover songs are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time 2016 comes around, Around the World and Back is thriving, and like now our band has, you know, doubled, tripled in size at this point. So we came back strong for our second Warped Tour appearance as a headliner on the main stage.
No more van.
No more van. It was our first big like summer bus tour. So we were so excited to be out like with some of our same friends, but on the same stage as them now, because now we're on the main stage with Four Year Strong and The Story So Far and Sleeping with Sirens and who else? Yellow Card.
Yep.
Yeah. Newfound Glory. It was
yeah.
fucking awesome, man. It was really cool. It made us feel like now we're included with bands that inspired us to do what we do and at the same level as them and can hang out like friends with them. And, you know, we entered the big leagues, if you will.
Yeah. And I think that was the coolest part is all the bands we were nervous to be around in 2014 that we hadn't met yet, we had become good friends with them. So it was just like a huge family reunion when we got on 2016. And just being on main stage made you feel super special and important. And it was such a fun tour. I miss summers on Warped Tour. I think those are always my favorite way to spend the summer.
Yeah. I mean, we owe our career to it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, we'll always
100%.
reflect on that as the best times.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Living Proof was at a point where it's like, okay, cool, how do we do it again? After doing Around the World and Back, it was like, great, we did it better than the first time, but how do we really do it again? Well, we had to start doing things like co-writing songs with certain people and using bigger names as producers, and we were like, do we try certain things, try to go poppier or more mainstream rock? And sometimes, so we took some chances. And working with John Feldman was one of the biggest chances. We did some songs with Mark Hoppus from Blink-182, which was the main single, Dead and Gone. Being one of those. It was, and we were nervous as hell. I didn't know how to work with big names or other people when like telling us what to do with our songs. I was very insecure about it and kind of protective. So it was the first time we had to be able, okay, let's like put our pride aside and open up and let people kind of be collaborative with our own music. And it paid off because we got some great songs out of that. And it was just the next step and people being like, oh, now they're working with these names. Like it's really starting to kick into high gear for this band. So it was the next step.
Yeah, we just wanted to try something different. I mean, we'd always wanted to try co-writing with someone like Feldman, but we also kept it familiar with working with Kyle Black and Mike Green as well. So we tried everything. That was the one where we're like, let's go to LA, let's take a bunch of sessions to see what happens. And I'm really happy we did that because it definitely shaped the way we wrote music afterwards with working with different producers. And I think it was super helpful. We learned a lot on that record.
Big learning process for sure.
Two more songs. We're not playing that shit. This song's called Elevated. Let's go.
Time Machine is just a weird silly song, and I don't know if we're never gonna play it.
We'll never play it, but I think it got like this cult following with when during the pandemic we started streaming, and specifically on my drum streams, it would be something that someone would always request. And
Did you play it?
Oh, every day.
You would?
There was not a day. It was the first and last one that someone requested.
All right, so you got something out of it.
So yeah, like Time Machine, it became like a kind of like a meme song for us. But you know,
it's not bad. It's not a bad song. It just doesn't sound like us.
It was
really.
really special working with Mark Hoppus, and even that whole process. My favorite thing is the day that he came in. I remember Feldman used to have us meditate before each session, which was new for us. And while we were doing it, Mark went in the room and he's like, I have this idea. And him and Zach Cervini, by the time we were done meditating that portion of it, they like had a fully hashed out like half pop punk song.
Oh
Mark,
yeah, they
Mark
wrote a
was
whole
like,
song in like 15 minutes.
Dude, it was so. He's like, I had an idea in the car. I'm not going to do that with you guys. I'm going to do this. And it was like It was
like
insane.
totally done, and it was like in French.
Yeah, it was like the tagline was really catchy. I was like, oh shit, this
was pretty
is gonna
sick.
be, yeah, it was really fun to see like
What a talented guy.
how genius he was and how. Dude, he was so chill. He would walk in and he's just like, you know, this Mark Hoppus there.
He didn't even ask. He didn't want like credit, and he didn't want money. He just wanted to hang out and make songs. So thanks, Mark.
And then he was really funny because he would go through Wikipedia and be like, who's this member? Why isn't he in the band? And he was just like funny. It was just like, I don't know. He was cracking jokes and really easy to be around and
He's
easy
a ball
fun
buster.
to work with. Yeah, he was really fun. A lot of cool moments with Time Machine.
We've definitely had like transitional periods in the band, and like certain people are on different paths in life, and that's totally fine. There's no bad blood in any sense, but we found our 4 core members, and we're moving forward, and it's been stronger than ever. But Unplugged was another one that brought us back together, and just we had no songs written, went straight into the studio, and we're like, let's write songs from scratch. So we ended up with songs like The Recipe and 10 a.m. and Crying Out Loud that were pretty cool, different style, stripped down, unplugged songs that were just a fun little side project for us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
had Saxel Rose on one of them too, on Thousand Hearts. That's
Yep.
right.
It's just fun to do a stripped down version or an acoustic EP. It breaks up. It's fun to just put out music, and sometimes committing to a full record is just a lot of work. So it's nice to go in and have a shorter period of time and make some really fun songs.
Totally.
'Cause I remember when we were recording Dead and Gone, I tried to not have the F-bomb dropped because I was like, my mom might not be happy with
Breathe
that.
with ease again. I want to get in bed and sleep again.
yeah.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was, but it was funny because by the time that the unplugged or the acoustic version of Dead and Gone came around, I was like, yeah, let's just put it in there. But I guess we didn't do it.
I forgot that we didn't do that. That's funny.
I kind of forgot about that too. That is kind of funny.
Enter Kings of the New Age and Everybody But You being the main single on that album. It became our new biggest song at the time, which was really cool. It was, and so it was very heavily influenced of the early 2000s. And you're right, like American Pie or The New Guy, like old, like Not Another Teen Movie, like that style. So it was our biggest budget to ever do a music video. So we just threw the most expensive house party that we could, and and came out with one of those exact style looking aesthetic music videos. And having someone like Ben on the song gave it that extra touch that kept our diehard OG fans excited and made us so many new ones because it was very mainstream, all-American Rejects style pop punk that brought people back to a nostalgia yet modern taste. So it was exciting, and it brought new life into the band, and it was refreshing.
Absolutely.
Real rock star shit right here.
Yeah, doing Act Like That with someone like Mitchell Tenpenny was the first time we stepped outside of the box into a different world, the country world. So we knew we had mutual friends of his, but we had never met him. So I got put in a group chat with him. I sent him a voice memo of an idea for the song, and he recorded it the next day, killed it, and we were
So
like, done,
talented.
it's perfect. We would absolutely work with him again. And now we're great friends, and he's on such an upward trajectory in his country career, and it's just exciting to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would do a tour with him too. So we'll see.
So happy that we worked with him because he is so talented and also easy to work with. Even when we were shooting the music video, we were in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee, and he showed up with his band, and they were such good sports and so easy to work with and stoked to be there. And just, I feel like you don't see that a lot when you have a bigger artist come and work on songs that they'll kind of drop everything and be like, yeah, I'll do your music video. Like,
Yeah,
he's a
super,
really
super cool.
class act. Good
Just
dude.
a chill guy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, COVID was tough, right? It broke up a lot of bands, and it was a big statement for us to even survive something like that and be a sustainable band after that. So getting back on tour and seeing the revival of some old nostalgic bands that were inspiring to us, like Boys Like Girls, was amazing. For them to ask us to come on tour with them, we ended up collabing on a song together, and now we're close friends. So it was just exciting to see music thriving again, people wiling out at shows again. And it was relieving and refreshing, and we're carrying that momentum into this year of touring as well.
Yeah, and we learned a ton from Boys Like Girls too. I mean, I think that with the way when they came back, they did it the right way. Their live show was so amazing that we ended up hiring some of the same people to be a musical director for our set, to make our set better.
Yeah.
And then with Martin helping us with changing the EP into a full length, I feel like we just learned a ton from them, which is great because they have a ton of experience with a lot of things, and I feel like overall doing that tour also made us a better band with paying attention to our live show a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Even though we have always paid attention to our live show, and I feel like that's one of our biggest strengths, but we're like, we have room to grow that area.
Yeah, got a little more particular with it,
Yeah.
but they definitely played a big brother role in our
Yeah.
lives, so we thank them for it.
Absolutely.
Seriously seeing how they did the whole set no stops.
Yeah.
I know. We didn't go that far. I
Yeah.
don't have that kind of stamina or that low percentage of body fat, so I can't get there just yet, but I'm working towards it.
Yeah, Martin will ride 40 miles a day, and he's incredible. But we learned a lot.
Self-titled was meant to just be an EP. We wrote 4 songs, but they were really good songs, and we were convinced otherwise that why would you just settle for an EP? So we built on it, spent a lot of time together. We took as much time ever in a writing process that we ever did. Came out with self-titled album because we felt that we finally found what embodies State Champs. If someone were to hear us for the first time, we'd want them to hear this record. And the mission statement and the ethos behind it is we've seen some shit. We've been through it all. We've been through everything, and the behind-the-scenes stuff as friends, as a band, with crew, with everything. And we've always found a way to mend it and find unity within ourselves, put the pieces back together. Hence the trophy that's been torn apart, put back together, and this is now State Champs by State Champs. So it took us 5 albums to do self-titled. I'm pretty proud of that. Usually bands end up doing it around 2 or second or third. So doing it around 5, it wasn't just because we didn't have a name. It's because this was the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was fun because, last year around this time, we had the 4 original songs done, which was Light Blue, Tight Grip, Too Late to Say, and Just a Dream, I think were the original 4. And we were all outside with Martin from Boys Like Girls, and he's just like, if you think these songs are good enough, he's like, you shouldn't put them on an EP that might get lost, put them on a record. So we literally...
Yeah, we owe him a lot.
I don't think Derek was even there. It was me, Tyler, and Ryan with him, and then we ran in. We're like, Derek, we're gonna make a full length now. And then
they were like, breakthrough. We're not doing an EP. I was like, what?
Nope.
Well, Martin said we shouldn't. All right.
All right, cool. So then we called management. We're like, all right, let's get the studio time booked, and then that's what we spent most of the first half of this year doing. So shout out to Martin for inspiring us to make this a full length.
Yeah, no regrets there. Slope being the only feature on the self-titled album was so weird and like kind of like a curveball to people because a lot of people don't know who the band is. But I found them online and we met overseas in Germany. They happened to be playing their CD release show on a day off for tour, so we went, became friends. Sure enough, asked them to be on the song, and they killed it. It called for a band like that. It's got a very like easy core, hardcore but funky, weird, set your goals style type of heavy part to it. So they fit right in, and it was great. And it's going to give them only good exposure leaning forward. So keep an eye out for Slope.
Yes,
sick ass band.
Slope is crushing it. But that feature, when we were writing that part, we're like, man, this feels like something that Slope would.
It was very like Beastie Boys, you know, like tough guy, but like cool hip hop influence, like beatdown style thing. Yeah. So only someone like Slope could do something like that. They killed it.
I think it's one of my favorite features we've ever done. It's
so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cody's been crushing it too.
Yeah. He loves doing it.
Cody's been crushing that part live. It's been fun.
If we were to do the Disney cover thing, I have a list in my phone, like just in case. But I had the Powerline Goofy Movie song stand out as my top choice. When Magnolia Park did Eye to Eye, which it was like in my opinion, like the best song on that album. They ended up doing Stand Out recently too. They did the second song from that movie, so I was like, God damn it, now we can't do it. But there's another song that's more ballady from the movie Brother Bear. It's called Look Through My Eyes. Yeah, it's a Phil Collins song. I want to cover that. That's one on my list too.
Let's shout out Disney. We love Disney.
Give us a call,
please. We want to do the record. We want to be on the rotation of the residency.
We'll get on the second
Simple
one.
Plan.
We'll get on the second one.
Let's do it. I'm hoping. Yeah.
We're going to keep grinding. We're going to climb our way up the festival lineups. We're going to visit new countries and new continents that we haven't yet. We'll finally make our way to South America. Sorry that it's taken us this long.
We've been trying. It's not like we've been neglecting.
And we're going to keep making music and having fun doing everything that we do because we feel closer than ever and just recharged by the fan reception of this album and the live show going on right now. So come out and hang with us, and we won't stop if you don't stop giving a Thank you.
That's right.
What's up? I'm Derek.
I'm Evan.
We're in the band State Champs. You're watching Common Revolt.
I love State Champs.